Welcome to another deep dive, and today we're going to be talking about Notebook LM,
Oh, yeah.
which is Google's new AI tool. You guys wanted to know more about it.
Yes.
So we dove into a couple of videos, 10 ways to use Notebook LM from Blazing Zebra, and how to use Notebook LM for beginners in 2024 from the iDread.
Yeah, those are both great
Yeah. The
resources to get started with it.
Yeah, we're going to kind of dive into that and give you guys the lowdown.
Yeah, it's definitely generating a lot of buzz.
Yeah.
And rightfully so, I think. It's a super cool tool.
Yeah, so what is it?
So it's an AI-powered tool. It's currently in beta,
Okay.
so you need a Google account to try it out.
Right.
But essentially, you can upload a variety of sources to it, so like documents, web pages,
Okay.
even YouTube videos. You can upload up to 50 different sources.
Wow, okay.
And then what Notebook LM does is it analyzes all of those sources.
Okay.
And it allows you to interact with the insights that it derives from those sources through a chat interface.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
How does it work?
So think of it as like an AI research assistant that just reads through a whole stack of materials for you.
Okay.
So it analyzes your sources and generates something called a briefing document that summarizes all of the key themes and ideas, problems, solutions that it can find from that data.
So it's not just taking the information, it's actually like understanding and picking out.
Exactly. It's actually understanding the information and picking out the important stuff.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And then you can interact with that briefing document and other notes through a chat interface.
Okay.
So Blazing Zebra, in his video, he showed how he used it for like following AI news.
Okay.
And he used his virtual assistant to transcribe a bunch of different YouTube videos about AI news. And then he fed those transcripts into Notebook LM.
Oh, wow.
And so the briefing document then gave him like a really quick overview of all of the key takeaways from those videos without him having to watch all of them.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool. So it's like a personalized news digest tailored to your specific area of interest.
Yeah.
So the key takeaway, I think, here is that Notebook LM can transform like raw information into actionable knowledge.
Yeah.
And I think this applies to a lot of different use cases, both professionally and personally.
Yeah. In the videos, they had a ton of use cases. What were some of your favorites?
Yeah, so professionally, I think one really cool one is for managing client relationships.
Okay.
So let's say that you have, a bunch of client calls, and you transcribe those client calls.
Yeah.
And you upload those transcripts to Notebook LM.
Okay.
It can actually help you analyze those conversations.
Okay.
Like identify recurring themes or maybe like action items that you missed.
Yeah.
That you can follow up on.
That would be so helpful for people who are on client calls all the time.
Absolutely. And this goes even beyond client calls. You can use it for project research, for market analysis.
Oh, wow.
Even for like internal meeting documentation and knowledge sharing.
It's like you have this like AI assistant helping you through all this work stuff.
It's helping you to be more efficient and insightful in like all aspects of your work.
Yeah.
So personally, the iGrid was using it to understand this really complex AI architecture called VJur.
Okay.
He said he was having trouble kind of wrapping his head around it.
Yeah.
So he fed Notebook LM links to like YouTube videos and blog posts about it.
Okay.
And then he was able to get a much clearer understanding of it.
So Notebook LM was like his tutor.
Yeah. It was like an AI tutor explaining these really complex ideas in like plain English.
I love that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's like that sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
Where they have the computer and the computer helps them figure everything out.
Totally.
But it's real now.
It's real. Yeah, and it's only going to get more powerful too.
Yeah.
So, and then think about it too for like health and fitness research.
Okay.
You could create like a personalized knowledge base just by like loading in a bunch of books and articles about whatever, health conditions you're interested in or fitness routines.
Yeah.
You could even use it to like help you with big decisions.
Okay.
By analyzing different scenarios and potential outcomes.
Yeah.
From like business strategy books or something.
Yeah. And Blazing Zebra called this like the killer feature.
Yeah.
I think. The AI-generated podcast.
Yes, the AI-generated podcast. This is where Notebook LM, I think, takes a giant leap into the future.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
Because you can upload a bunch of stuff, and then it creates a podcast for you.
Yeah. So it's basically taking all of this research and it's summarizing it for you in audio form.
Yeah, and it's not just like a robot voice reading it.
No, it's actually like...
It's just like a podcast.
It's a conversation between like two hosts.
Yeah, that's so cool.
It makes even like the most dry technical information engaging to listen to.
Yeah, so it actually uses
Yeah.
text-to-speech.
Exactly. So it uses a text-to-speech engine
Yeah.
combined with natural language processing to create like this dialogue
Yeah.
that sounds like a real conversation.
And it changes the tone based on
Yeah, it adjusts the tone and pacing
what it's talking about.
to match the content.
Crazy.
Yeah. So like if it's talking about a really like complex technical topic,
Yeah.
it might be more like measured and deliberate in its tone.
Right.
But if it's like, sharing an anecdote
Yeah.
or a surprising finding, it might become more animated
Yeah.
and engaging.
Well, I love that
Yeah.
Blazing Zebra was using it to like stay updated on his
Yeah.
AI news while he was on walks.
Yeah, so he would transcribe those YouTube videos,
Yeah.
feed them into Notebook LM, and then boom, instant AI news podcast.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Like he has his own little production studio with AI.
Exactly.
Okay, so what are some tips and tricks to
Yeah.
use this thing effectively?
Yeah, so one thing that both creators mentioned was like the importance of organization. So they recommend that you actually rename notes for better clarity.
Okay.
So instead of having like note 1, note 2,
Right.
you could have like timeline, FAQs, key findings, just anything to make it easier to actually find what you need.
That makes sense.
Yeah, you don't want to get lost in a sea of untitled notes.
Yeah.
They also recommend that you rename your projects too.
Right.
So if you're
Yeah.
working on multiple projects,
Yeah.
you can easily identify them.
Right.
They also mention that you can interact with individual notes.
Okay.
So for example, if you generate an FAQ note,
Mm-hmm.
you can actually ask follow-up questions to that note
Oh, wow.
to explore specific points in more detail.
So it's like an ongoing
Yeah.
conversation with the AI.
Exactly. It's like you're having this back and forth conversation with the AI about your sources.
That's really cool.
It's not just a static document, it's
Yeah.
interactive.
That's really neat.
And then don't forget, you can also iterate on the notes themselves.
Okay.
So you can refine them.
Mm-hmm. Add your own thoughts.
Yeah.
And basically like co-create with the AI.
That's awesome.
It's a really cool way to like deepen your understanding and create even more valuable content.
Yeah, this is way more than just a note-taking app.
Way more.
Yeah, it's a whole new way of working with information.
I'm really curious to hear what other people are using it for.
Me too.
But
Yeah.
Blazing Zebra also used it for marketing research.
Yeah, he made a whole separate video about that.
Yeah.
He said it was super valuable.
Yeah, he was talking about competitors and his target audiences, but
Yeah.
I think we're running out of time
Yeah, we're running out of time for this part of the deep dive.
for this part.
But we'll dive into marketing research and some other fascinating use cases
Okay.
in part 2.
Awesome. Stay tuned
Oh.
for more deep insights into Notebook LM.
All right, see you then. Welcome back.
All right, so before we got sidetracked with all the podcast features,
Yeah. The
um,
podcast stuff is pretty mind-blowing, I think.
it is. We were talking about how Blazing Zebra uses it for market research.
Yes, exactly.
And he thought it was so cool that he made another whole video
He did, yeah.
about that.
He did a whole deep dive into
Yeah.
marketing research with Notebook LM.
And he was just loading in all this data,
Yeah, all sorts of stuff.
like articles and websites and all this stuff.
Articles about competitors.
Yeah.
Website
Yes.
copy, just anything that gives him insight into like his target audience.
Yeah, and then instead of like spending hours going through it himself, he's like, all right, AI, go.
Exactly. Yeah, he lets the AI do the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
And it can like identify trends and patterns that he might not be able to see just with the human eye.
And not just like what his competitors are doing,
Right.
but he was finding like innovative marketing strategies.
Yeah, he actually found some really cool new marketing strategies that he's gonna try.
Using this.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so much time saved.
Imagine the time saved. And just the potential for like uncovering these hidden gems that you would have missed otherwise.
Yeah, like having a marketing consultant.
Yeah,
Like,
that's AI. Totally. It's like an AI marketing consultant working alongside you.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm already thinking, how can I use this for my own stuff?
Exactly.
But it's not just for marketing, right?
Yeah, not at all. I mean, think about like academic research.
Oh, yeah.
You know, a student could upload like a whole stack of research papers on a certain topic,
Okay.
and then instead of having to like manually synthesize all of the findings from those papers,
Yeah.
they could use Notebook LM to like
Yeah.
quickly identify the key takeaways, the points of agreement,
Yeah.
areas where the research maybe diverges.
Yeah, that would save students so much time.
Oh my gosh.
And all-nighters.
No more all-nighters,
Yeah.
trying to make sense of like
Yeah.
really dense research papers.
Yeah.
So it's all about making information more accessible and digestible, whatever the field. Yeah.
And I think that's why Notebook LM has like such transformative potential.
Yeah.
Because it's not just a tool for like specialists.
Right.
It can empower like anyone to engage with complex information in a meaningful way.
I love that.
Yeah.
So I keep going back to this podcast feature.
Yeah.
Because it is so futuristic.
It is like...
But like, how does it actually do that?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Like, how does it actually create this conversation from this content?
So basically, it uses a really sophisticated text-to-speech engine combined with natural language processing algorithms. And what this allows it to do is it can analyze the text, identify the key points, and then structure those points into a dialogue that mimics a natural conversation.
So it's not just reading.
No, it's not just reading.
Out loud.
It's understanding the content.
Yeah.
And then creating a narrative flow.
I love that.
Yeah, and it goes even further than that.
Oh, wow.
It will adjust the tone and the pacing of the speech. Oh, wow.
To match the content.
Okay.
So, like, if it's discussing a really complex technical topic, it might be more measured and deliberate in its tone.
Yeah.
But if it's, like, sharing an anecdote or, like, a surprising finding, it might become more animated and engaging.
So it's like a director.
Yeah, it's like an AI director.
But for audio.
Yeah, guiding the performance of the audio content.
That's so cool.
I know, it's super cool.
Like, what are the possibilities there?
I mean, imagine a world where, like, any information you encounter, like a research paper, a news article, even like a meeting transcript, could be transformed into this engaging audio experience.
Learning would be so different.
Oh my gosh, totally.
No more like reading textbooks or sitting through a boring lecture.
Yeah, exactly. You can have the AI create these personalized audio lessons on any topic. Yeah. Tailored to your individual learning style.
And not just like more engaging, but like, what about people who have trouble?
Yeah, accessibility. It's huge for accessibility.
Yeah.
So people with visual impairments or learning disabilities who might find traditional, like, text-based materials challenging can access this information in a whole new way.
Wow, that's such a good point.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So yeah, it's really about making knowledge more inclusive.
Yeah.
And this goes beyond education, too. I mean, think about entertainment.
Yeah.
Like personalized audio stories.
Yeah.
On-demand audiobooks curated to your interests.
Oh my gosh.
Like the possibilities are endless.
It really is like the future.
Yeah, but as with any like powerful technology, I think we have to think about like the potential downsides too.
Yeah, what could go wrong?
Yeah, so one concern is like misuse.
Okay.
So AI-generated audio could be used to create deepfakes.
Oh, yeah.
You know, audio recordings that sound like a real person saying something that they never actually said.
Right.
So we have to be aware of this and develop safeguards to prevent the spread of misinformation. It is a little bit scary, and I think it highlights the importance of critical thinking and media literacy.
Yes.
In a world where AI is creating like increasingly realistic content.
You really have to know.
Yeah, we have to be very discerning consumers of information.
Yeah, what's real and what's not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we also need to think about the potential impact on jobs.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if AI can create like this high quality audio content, what happens to human voice actors, writers, producers?
Yeah, all those people.
These are complex issues that I think we really need to grapple with as AI continues to evolve.
Yeah, it's not all sunshine and roses.
No, it's not all sunshine and roses, exactly.
But back to Notebook LM.
Yeah. So one thing that both creators stressed was the importance of using like clear and specific prompts.
Well,
when you're interacting with the AI.
Yeah.
So the more specific you are, the better results you're going to get. Right. It's like having a conversation. The clearer you are in like what you're asking, the better the response you're going to receive.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And like any skill, it takes practice.
Yeah.
To become really proficient at like prompting the AI effectively.
I'm sure people will get really good at that.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
They also highlighted the value of experimenting with like different prompts and approaches.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to try like different phrasing or reword your questions just to see what yields the most insightful results.
Okay.
So it's a process of discovery and refinement.
I like that. Yeah. So it's not just like...
It's a collaboration.
You're using a tool.
Yeah, you're collaborating with the AI.
You're working with it.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And speaking of collaboration.
Yeah.
Remember how we talked about Notebook LM's ability to analyze information from like multiple sources.
Yes.
Well, there's another layer to that.
Oh, really? So there's another layer to analyzing information from multiple sources.
Yeah, you can actually control which sources the AI focuses on.
Oh, wow.
So if you're like particularly interested in like what one specific researcher has to say,
Yeah.
you can tell Notebook LM to prioritize their work when generating summaries
Okay.
or answering your questions.
So it's like you have like a custom research filter.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not
right.
just getting like the generic overview. You can actually tailor it.
You can tailor the analysis to your specific interests.
Yeah.
So it gives you way more control over the insights that you're getting. You're kind of guiding the AI's focus rather than just like passively receiving information.
I love that.
Yeah.
So before we got sidetracked by this podcast feature, which I love.
It is really cool.
You were talking about the AI grid.
Yeah.
Using it to understand this really complex AI architecture.
Yes, he was using it to understand VIA.
VDR.
Yeah, it's like the super complex AI architecture.
Okay.
And he was having trouble like wrapping his head around it.
Yeah.
So he fed Notebook LM all of these links to research papers, blog posts, YouTube videos, all explaining VJer.
Yeah.
And Notebook LM was able to take all of that information, distill it, and present it to him in a way that was much easier for him to understand.
So Notebook LM was like an AI tutor.
Exactly. It was like having an AI tutor explain this really complex topic in plain English.
I love that.
Yeah, it's super
for anybody who's trying to learn something.
Yeah, and he said that it wasn't just about like simplification. It helped him see connections and patterns that he might have missed if he was just reading through the material on his own.
I think that's what's so fascinating about AI.
Yeah.
It's like processing all this information.
Yeah, it can process information in a way that our brains just like can't.
Yes, it's like you have an extra brain.
Yeah, it's like having an extra set of eyes or an extra brain.
Yeah, helping you out.
Helping you analyze and make sense of the world. Yeah. But it's important to remember that Notebook LM, like all AI tools, is still under development.
Right.
It's in beta, which means it's constantly being improved and updated.
So who knows what features they'll add in the future.
Who knows what we'll be able to do with it like a year from now.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's super exciting. I think we're just scratching the surface.
It feels like we're in that sci-fi movie again.
It does. It feels like the future is now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, even in its current form, Notebook LM, I think, has the potential to really transform the way we work.
Yeah.
Learn, understand the world around us.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I think it can make information so much more accessible, digestible, engaging.
Yeah, it's really democratizing knowledge, empowering anyone with an internet connection to become like a more informed, effective learner.
I love that.
It's super exciting.
So everyone listening out there,
go
check out Notebook LM. Yeah, see how you can use it.
See how it can like enhance your own understanding of the world.
Yeah.
You might be surprised.
You might be surprised.
By what you discover.
Yes. And let us know what you think.
Yeah, connect with us on social media.
Yeah.
Leave a comment on our website.
Leave a comment. We want to hear from you.
Let's keep this conversation going.
All right, until next time.
Yes.
Keep exploring, keep learning, and defloring.
Keep diving deep.
Keep driving deep.